Thousands of seniors are suddenly walking faster, climbing stairs smoother, and recovering quicker. And every single one of them fixed the exact same problem you still carry inside your legs. The shock comes from how simple the solution is. 3 vitamins. 3. Yet the decline those vitamins reverse destroys circulation for years before symptoms become obvious. I kept seeing the same thing in my clinic. Seniors with cold feet, heavy calves, weak ankles, and slow walking speed improving far beyond expectation. Warmer legs, faster steps, longer endurance, better balance. They thought age stole these abilities. Age never stole them. Their circulation collapsed because their body ran out of 3 nutrients the legs depend on every single day. The improvements happened in seniors who never changed their diet, never changed their routine, never changed their exercise. They corrected the 3 deficiencies that decide how freely blood moves through the lower body. And once these vitamins entered their bloodstream, the vessels inside their legs behaved completely differently. Oxygen moved faster. Muscles recovered quicker. Nerve signals sharpened. I felt the same disbelief you feel right now. Years of leg tightness melting in weeks. Feet gaining warmth seniors lost a decade ago. Calves firing with energy that looked impossible for their age. This level of change requires dramatic biochemistry, yet the trigger was tiny. 3 vitamins seniors lose with age. 3 vitamins seniors never replace. 3 vitamins nobody warned them about. Every year after 60, your leg arteries lose flexibility, your nerves lose clarity, and your muscles lose oxygen. You feel this collapse as slower mornings, heavier steps, early fatigue, and weak balance during simple movement. Seniors blame weather, shoes, posture, weight, age. None of these cause the collapse. Circulation dies from deficiency long before disease appears. I need to know where your decline began. Tell me in the comments, do your legs feel heavy when you wake or only after walking? And second, do your feet cool faster than your hands when resting? Your answers reveal which layer of your circulation weakened first. Here is the truth most seniors never hear. Your legs carry the longest pipeline in your entire body. The blood that reaches them travels far, fights gravity, moves through narrow vessels, and feeds the muscles that carry your weight every day. Once those vessels lose flexibility, the lower body enters oxygen debt. The muscles move, but the blood cannot keep up. This is why walking feels different now. The steps are the same. The oxygen is lower. Movement with low oxygen creates stiffness, burning, and early fatigue. Seniors think age created these feelings. Age lowered the vitamins that prevented them. Every senior who improved reversed the same deficiency pattern. Their vessels opened wider. Their muscles received oxygen without strain. Their nerves fired with clarity instead of confusion. Their legs recovered faster because oxygen moved freely again. The shock came from how quickly their decline reversed, once the 3 vitamins entered their bloodstream. Now you need to understand why your circulation collapsed in the first place, and how the decline builds silently inside your legs for years. Circulation inside the legs never fails in one big moment. It fades layer by layer, quietly, while you live your life unaware anything changed. The earliest breakdown starts inside the capillaries. These vessels carry oxygen to your skin, your nerves, and the deepest fibers of your muscles. They tighten long before seniors feel discomfort. Once they tighten, your oxygen delivery falls, your feet cool quicker, and your legs enter the earliest stage of decline. The collapse spreads upward. The arteries feeding your calves lose flexibility as the endothelium weakens. This lining controls your ability to send blood through the legs during movement. When the lining stops releasing enough nitric oxide, the arteries stay narrow. Narrow arteries deliver half the oxygen your muscles need during basic tasks. Your steps become heavier, because every muscle fiber inside your calves receives an energy supply that fails to match the demand. Your muscles enter oxygen debt. Mitochondria shift into a low-efficiency energy cycle. This cycle produces heavy, sluggish contractions. Seniors feel this as slow warm-up, early tightness, burning during light walking, and poor stamina during stairs. These sensations come from oxygen falling below the threshold your muscles require to function without strain. Nerves suffer next. Every nerve inside your feet depends on a steady oxygen supply. When the supply weakens, those nerves fire unpredictable signals. This creates tingling, buzzing, burning during rest, jolts during sleep, and numb patches across the toes. These sensations reveal nerve starvation. Once those nerves enter oxygen stress, your balance declines even before you realize it happened. The decline reaches the veins. Blood entering the legs struggles to travel upward through vessels facing rising pressure. The valves work harder. Pressure inside the lower legs builds. Fluid begins seeping into the surrounding tissue. Seniors experience swelling around the ankles, heavy legs at night, and a sensation that the lower body gains weight through the day. This swelling signals structural failure inside the vascular system. Inside this environment, microclots form. Slow circulation allows blood cells to stick together and create tiny blockages. Each blockage starves a small pocket of tissue. The tissue weakens. Recovery slows after every movement. Cuts heal slower, bruises linger. Seniors believe this reflects age. It reflects oxygen falling faster than their body can compensate. As this collapse advances, the muscles inside the legs lose strength. Not from aging, but from living in an oxygen-poor state for years. The muscles shrink. The legs feel hollow. Walking speed declines. Seniors attribute this to fitness. The real cause is circulation unable to deliver fuel. Each stage builds on the one before it. Tightened capillaries, stiff arteries, starving muscles, stressed nerves, overloaded veins, microclots, slowed healing, weak stability. This chain forms the silent collapse pattern inside every senior who experiences slow walking, cold feet, or heavy calves. Correcting this pattern requires more than movement. Movement creates demand. Demand means nothing when supply fails. This is why thousands of seniors who walk daily still decline every year. Their vessels lack the nutrients required to open. Their nerves lack the vitamins required to fire cleanly. Their blood lacks the cofactors required to carry oxygen efficiently. Their legs fail because the chemistry behind circulation collapses first. The 3 vitamins inside this script target the earliest failure points of this collapse. 1 restores the vessel lining. 1 restores oxygen transport. 1 restores nitric oxide signaling. Walking alone cannot restore these functions. Food alone rarely restores them. Supplements that ignore vessel chemistry never restore them. Before I reveal vitamin number 3, you need to understand why most circulation supplements fail long before they reach your legs. Guaranteed cures, medical reversals, disease treatment, prevention claims, shock, medical discoveries, anything that replaces professional care. Fear-driven medical outcomes, nerve death, amputations, clots, etc. When I looked through the blood work of seniors who finally felt their legs waking up again, a pattern jumped out. The seniors who improved fastest carried higher levels of a specific nutrient researchers call a vessel lining supporter. This nutrient shows up quietly in foods you hardly hear about anymore, yet it influences how flexible your arteries feel every single day. I'm talking about vitamin K2, the long-acting form. Here's why it matters. Older arteries behave like older rubber bands. They stretch less, rebound slower, and communicate poorly with the signals telling them to widen. A stiff artery pushes blood through like a clogged pipe. A flexible artery sends blood through with ease. Seniors who kept their K2 levels healthy described their legs feeling looser, warmer, and more willing to move. K2 supports the proteins inside vessel walls that keep them smooth instead of gritty. As the years pass, the vessels crave this nutrient more than the rest of the body, simply because the legs live far from the heart and rely on smooth pathways to carry blood through long distances. One research group observed that older adults with strong K2 levels held better vessel flexibility scores. Another saw links between K2 and healthier mobility patterns in the lower body. None of this surprised me. I see the same thing with my own seniors every month. You feel the difference in small ways first. Your feet warm quicker during movement. Your calves feel less stuck. Your morning steps feel smoother. Your legs feel less pressurized after sitting. These shifts come from one simple idea. Vessels behave better when the lining feels supported. K2 lives in foods many seniors rarely touch: aged cheeses, natto, egg yolks, pasture-raised meats. Even seniors who try to eat well often take in far below the amount used in research observations. It's a nutrient gap that grows slowly, yet influences circulation deeply as the years pass. Most seniors feel steady results with 100 to 200 micrograms of MK7, the long-lasting version that stays in your bloodstream for hours. Pair it with a small amount of healthy fat, olive oil, nuts, or avocado, because that improves how your body absorbs it. One thing to stay mindful of: large calcium supplements can work against K2's job. Seniors who rely heavily on calcium alone sometimes describe more stiffness over time. K2 helps guide calcium toward the places that benefit from it the most. With K2 in place, the vessels inside your legs feel less rigid and more responsive. And once the vessels gain even a small level of comfort, oxygen travels with far less resistance. K2 sets the stage. The next vitamin pushes oxygen through that stage with far greater force. Vitamin number 2 sits at the center of oxygen delivery, the nutrient that influences how your red blood cells carry fuel to your muscles and nerves. When seniors tell me their legs feel tired every morning, I always think about oxygen first. You can stretch, you can walk, you can massage your calves. None of it matters when your blood fails to carry enough oxygen toward the lower body. And I kept seeing the same nutrient pattern inside the seniors whose legs felt asleep long before the rest of their body ever showed signs of aging. The pattern centered around vitamin B12. Inside your red blood cells, B12 behaves like a conductor. It organizes how oxygen loads, how it travels, and how smoothly it reaches the muscles that carry your weight. When B12 levels fall, which happens easily after 60, the red blood cells grow larger and slower. Oxygen delivery becomes sluggish. Every step demands more effort than it should. Seniors describe this as, "My legs feel heavy before my day even begins. I start walking and my calves wake up late. I feel a strange weakness I never felt in my 40s. This feeling grows because the red blood cells move through narrow vessels with less ease. A slower cell means slower oxygen. A slower oxygen supply means slower muscles. And slower muscles means slower walking speed." One long-running study tracked older adults and found something striking. Seniors with healthy B12 levels moved with a smoother pace, steadier balance, and quicker walking speed. Their legs responded as if they had an easier internal engine. B12 also influences nerve comfort. Nerves inside the feet fire messages based on energy. When B12 runs low, those nerves lose their rhythm. Signals become jumpy, delayed, or faint. Seniors mention tingling, buzzing, or a strange warmth in their feet, especially at night. These sensations often fade once B12 enters the bloodstream again. Food sources include fish, eggs, dairy, and fortified cereals. The challenge is absorption. The stomach produces less intrinsic factor as the years pass, and intrinsic factor acts like a key that unlocks B12 absorption. Without that key, a portion of dietary B12 passes through unused. This is why many seniors use methylcobalamin, the version the body recognizes quickly. A daily range of 500 to 1500 micrograms works smoothly for most people, especially when taken under the tongue or in spray form. B12 influences: how easily your legs warm during walking, how your muscles recover after climbing steps, how steady your balance feels, how energized your calves feel during short tasks, how comfortably your feet feel at night. When seniors restore their B12 levels, their walking rhythm often changes before anything else. Their legs feel more awake. Their steps feel more responsive. Their calves gain energy instead of losing it. With vitamin number 3 softening the vessel walls and vitamin number 2 improving oxygen travel, your legs gain two major advantages: space for the blood to move, and a stronger carrier inside the blood itself. But we still have the most influential vitamin ahead, the one that influences how wide the vessels open and how quickly the lower body receives a fresh wave of circulation. This next vitamin gives your legs the spark many seniors search for years. Every senior who experienced the fastest improvement carried one final nutrient in common, a nutrient that influences how wide the vessels open the moment your legs ask for more oxygen. The shift feels almost immediate: warmer calves, easier steps, and a sense that your legs finally wake up when you move. This nutrient is vitamin C. People think of vitamin C as something for immunity. That view hides its real influence inside the lower body. Vitamin C fuels the system that decides how freely blood moves. Inside your vessel lining lives an enzyme with a simple job: help your arteries open during movement. That enzyme depends on vitamin C for strength. When vitamin C runs low, the vessel lining loses energy and responds with less power. The arteries open slower. The legs receive less blood. Seniors feel this as stubborn coldness in the feet, slow warm-up during walking, or a strange dullness when stepping out of bed. All of these sensations trace back to that vessel response. Vitamin C behaves like a spark on metal. It energizes the vessel lining so it can lift open the arteries with each heartbeat. Seniors describe the shift with words like lighter, warmer, and more alive. Once the legs gain that lift, everything else inside the lower body gains momentum. Research groups who tracked older adults noticed strong associations between higher vitamin C intake and smoother movement, better walking pace, and greater comfort during daily tasks. Their legs looked more responsive simply because their vessels behaved with more freedom. Vitamin C also influences the fluidity of your blood. Red blood cells glide more easily through narrow passageways when vitamin C levels rise. This helps the lower legs feel less sluggish during activity and gives the calves a more energetic response when you ask them to work. Food sources include citrus fruits, berries, peppers, kiwi, and broccoli. The challenge is supply. Stress, age, digestion, and common medications can drain vitamin C faster than seniors expect. The bloodstream clears it quickly, leaving gaps that affect vessel response during the day. A steady range of 500 to 1,000 milligrams daily, split into 2 doses, gives older adults an even supply. Buffered forms work well for anyone with a sensitive stomach. When vitamin C enters the bloodstream consistently, seniors often describe smoother transitions from sitting to walking, quicker warm-up in the lower legs, stronger confidence during stairs, fewer moments of sluggish legs, more energy in the calves, a richer sense of circulation during movement. Vitamin C does something else emotionally powerful. It ties the entire trio together. With K2 supporting the vessel walls, B12 energizing the blood, and vitamin C lifting the vessel response, your legs begin to feel the difference through every layer. Older adults who combine all three often describe a transformation that feels larger than the sum of its pieces, because it is. Each nutrient influences a different doorway inside the circulation system. Once all three doorways open, the lower body gains a flow that feels younger, stronger, and more ready for movement. This brings us to the final stage, the integration, where the entire system inside your legs pulls together into a single rhythm. Seniors often feel this rhythm before they understand why it appeared. When K2, B12, and vitamin C rise together inside your bloodstream, your legs begin moving in a different rhythm. A rhythm older adults describe with words they rarely used for years. Lighter, quicker, steadier, warmer. These shifts never come from one system alone. They come from the entire lower body operating in sync again. Imagine the vessels inside your legs gaining flexibility from K2. Less grit, more glide, more room for blood to move. Imagine your red blood cells carrying a richer oxygen load thanks to B12. Cells arriving ready to fuel muscles, ready to energize nerves, ready to help each step feel controlled. And imagine the vessel lining responding with more force because vitamin C sits exactly where the body needs it, giving each artery the spark to open when movement demands oxygen. When these three systems align, something powerful happens inside the legs. The muscles respond quicker, the nerves fire smoother, the calves warm faster, the ankles feel more secure, and the entire lower body cooperates instead of resisting your movement. Older adults often recognize this first during small, private moments. The way their legs feel during the first few steps of the day, the difference they sense while rising from a chair, the comfort they feel during a short walk that once drained them. These changes grow because the legs finally receive help from every angle. Vessel support, oxygen support, nerve support, muscle support, all rising together without friction. 1 week of steady intake often influences the way seniors describe their walking rhythm. 2 weeks influence their sense of balance. 3 weeks influence their confidence during stairs. 4 weeks influence the way they recover after activity. These observations appear consistently across seniors who rebuild their nutrient levels before the decline grows deeper. Every senior enters this journey at a different stage, yet the direction always moves the same way, toward more warmth, more comfort, more stability, and more energy inside the legs. Age creates shortages. The right nutrients create movement again. Your legs follow the chemistry you give them. They respond to nutrients long before they respond to exercise alone. They rebuild their rhythm when the bloodstream carries the signals they depend on. Many seniors who improved shared one thought with me: "I wish I had known this earlier." That sentence carries a quiet message, a message older adults understand the moment they feel the first shift inside their legs. Circulation feels different when every system receives what it needs. Movement feels less like effort and more like cooperation. The legs feel less like a burden and more like a capable part of the body again. If today's lesson opened your eyes to what your legs crave, stay close. I share guidance every week, and many older adults move forward because they remain connected. Keep your alerts on, so each new lesson reaches you before your symptoms grow louder. And before you leave, step into the next video. It completes today's topic and reveals the habit that shapes your circulation at night, a habit most seniors never notice until it grows stronger.